For the past few decades, the Kia Sorento has been the brand's best-selling 7-seater mid-sized SUV. And for 2025, it's got a lot of upgrades that I'm sure you guys will want to know about. What's going on, guys? Roy Robbins here from Zigwheels.Ph, and today we'll be doing a first look at the 2025 Kia Sorento Turbo Hybrid. Now, I've always loved the current generation Kia Sorento's front end, especially with all those nice boxy lines here. Kind of gives me more of that SUV feel that a lot of buyers in this segment are certainly looking for. Don't give us all these curvy and curvaceous and bulbous edges and accents here. We want something that looks exactly like this. And with the mid-cycle refresh of the 2025 Kia Sorento, we've got even more of that. You got these updated LED headlamps right here, which kind of resembles a lot of Kia SUVs in their current lineup. You got this front camera right here that works with the 360-degree camera system. A nice looking lower end here, giving you the impression that it can go off-roading, which it definitely can because this has an all-wheel drive system, but don't expect this to be real skid plates. Those are made of plastic. I love the evolution of the tiger nose grille. I mean, back then when it was first introduced, a lot of people were definitely, kind of iffy about it, myself included, but with how it looks, especially with this generation, I mean, it definitely looks quite amazing. Overall, for 2025, Kia gave us just enough upgrades for this mid-cycle refresh to fight against a lot of the modern rivals coming, whether it's ICE, diesel, or EVs. This one right here just might be your cup of tea because it is definitely mine. Now, heading over to the side profile of the 2025 Kia Sorento, we find that there really isn't much change as compared to the pre-facelifted model, except those. You got those 19-inch alloy wheels. They're blacked out. They're two-tone as well. And I like how those tires look. I mean, just as well as it goes with the 19-inch blinged out alloy wheels, you got these nice patterns on those Continental tires. I mean, definitely look good as well as perform quite as well. You got 174 millimeters of ground clearance, which is really not as much as a lot of truck-based mid-sized SUVs in the market, but it's certainly enough to go off-roading, as you can see right here. We'll be checking out the drive later on. You got 4-wheel disc brakes all around, cameras on the side mirrors right here that works again with the 360-degree camera system. And I most particularly like this particular kink right here on the seat pillar right here. I mean, it gives you this certain shark-like appeal to the Kia Sorento, which I've always loved. I mean, you've got this roof rail on top as well. These vertical tail lamps, they're LED tail lamps, by the way. You got these reflector panels on each side. Plus, you got this updated rear skid plate design that kind of adds more to that off-roading appeal that it just definitely goes out too. You got the camera right here, works with the 360-degree camera system. And the biggest update for the 2025 Kia Sorento, this badge right here says HEV. That's right, guys. The Sorento has finally crossed over to the electrified team. It's now a hybrid electric vehicle with a 1.6 liter hybrid engine under the hood. We're definitely very excited how this is going to work. For years, the Sorento has been a diesel, but it's now a HEV. One thing about the Kia Sorento, though, is notice that you don't see any rear wipers here, and that might be sad, but it's actually hidden right on top there, hidden right away underneath this huge rear spoiler. All right, so you got a power lift gate going on here, and you got a lot of space to work with. So let's lift up the rear seats right here. So the Kia Sorento is through and through a 7-seater SUV. So you got a lot of space to work with, even with those third row seats up. You got this nice cubby hole for all your stuff here. You got your tools, and of course the that's not the battery. The battery's in the second row seats. But you guys might be wondering where the spare tire is. Well, Kia's got you covered. You got the spare tire underneath there as well. Even with the third row seats up, you still have a lot of space here, as I mentioned. And you can just fold those third row seats down if you need even more space inside. And you can push those seats forward. How are you going to do that, you might ask? There are buttons right here on the back. You can easily do that as well. All right. So one thing about the Kia Sorento is that once you start it up, it has this nice startup thing to it, like a Windows PC. All right, and it is on. And once you turn it off, it's got an even better sound than that. Kia. All right. As I mentioned outside, the Kia Sorento has always been more upscale when it comes to its interior treatment, and yet for 2025, they've upped their interior game even more so. You got two 12.3-inch screens right here on the front, one for your multi-information display and for the touchscreen infotainment system. And guys, without any bias, without any bias at all, this has got to be one of the most responsive, the most great looking touchscreen infotainment systems I've ever experienced. I mean, there's barely any lag, if any at all. Plus, you've got wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is nice. You got this nice Bose sound system all around. So definitely enjoy your tunes a lot more with this particular system. And again, if companies would like to improve their interior, the ergonomics, their mechanicals, and of course their tech, they might want to buy a Kia and then take a look and see what they can do with it. Cross-engineer it, maybe. You've got this nice soft material. They're not soft touch, but they're definitely soft and smooth material right here in the middle of the dashboard, which is nice. I mean, you need somewhere where you can actually place your finger at and then control the screen here. And once you touch it, it definitely feels quite nice. You got soft touch materials all around here, and the outboard and inboard armrests are definitely parallel with each other, making cruising quite easy. You got this nice leather wrap steering wheel with both adjustments for reach and rake, which is nice. And what I love about this is that despite the fact that you've got two huge screens right here, the steering wheel is not blocking anything within your sight. You can still see your gauge cluster right here, easy and nice. You can see your tachometer right here. One thing about this particular hybrid vehicle is that you still have an existing tachometer, and it shows you that you have a 0 RPMs while you're driving. Even though you don't need it in a hybrid electric vehicle, they still give you the option to check that out. Now, one thing that I do love about this particular center console here, that it may be a little busy. You've got a lot of these buttons, a lot of these black piano black surfaces right here, but it doesn't look ugly at all. Everything is ergonomically placed. You got your cooled seats, your heated seats function right here. Your shifter is a particular dial here. You can just go park, reverse, neutral, and drive, easy. And right below that, you got your drive modes. You can go from Eco, Sport, and Smart, and then switch it. You can go to Snow, Mud, and Sand. So you've got drive mode select and terrain mode select, which gives you an idea that the Kia Sorento is ready for anything you and your family would face, especially on the road. Right here, you got a heated steering wheel, automatic brake hold, and then you've got this electronic power brake, this electronic handbrake that we got right here, easy, and a button to check out the 360-degree camera system. Sometimes you'll have to dig, a lot of cars these days, sometimes you'll have to dig through the system here just to access the camera button. Not with the Kia Sorento. You just go ahead and click that and you're good to go. Now, the steering wheel buttons, you definitely don't feel like you're getting the power you expect. This is the top of the line hybrid all-wheel drive system. So you got your buttons right here for your adaptive cruise control that works in tandem. It works as a part of Kia's DriveWise advanced driver assist systems, and we'll talk about that in the drive later. You got interior ambient lighting, and these seats, though, I mean, I would have chosen a darker upholstery inside, but you get white seats all around. You get beige here. It gives you this more airy feel. Both of these seats are power operated. You can move forward and back, up and down. And new for 2025, it's got lumbar support. I mean, I'm definitely on the wrong side of 30 right now, and having lumbar support is highly appreciated, especially for this particular car. Now let's talk about these buttons right here at the bottom of the touchscreen infotainment system. Now, instead of getting physical buttons to control your media, Kia did everyone a solid by giving us both of what we need right here. It's basically a two-tiered touchscreen for everyone. So one, you can just touch this right here to control your HVAC or your aircon controls. So you can power it how cold you want it to, and you can go ahead and control the fans as well. And if you had enough of that, you can just move this up and it can move to your media controls here with a volume knob. So you got a dedicated volume knob, but it's not really dedicated, because if you switch it, it becomes the HVAC controls that works with the dual automatic climate control system inside. All right, you got a wireless charging pad right here at the bottom as well. And speaking of multitasking, you've got another multitasking button right here. So for each of these USB-C ports right here, one of those USB-C ports, you can actually activate it just to charge. So it's just for simply charging, but click on it and then you'll see a light shine up right there, and it can work as a USB-C. So usually when you work with USB-C, it's going to be a slower charging charging architecture for your phone. So you can actually just connect your phone right there via a wire or a USB-C cable to use Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. But if you're using the wireless method, you can just use it to charge. Only Kia can actually think of that particular feature, but I thought it wasn't something that I really needed, but apparently Kia says, yeah, hey, here you go. All right, so you've got a large cubby hole here for all your stuff. You can just remove this right here. And interestingly, you've got these clips right here for your RFID cards. You've got this huge panoramic sunroof that you can open up, but I'm not going to do so because it is hot outside right now. All right, so the second row seats, you've got a lot of space to work with. I mean, you got space for your knees, your legs, and your feet right here. It's very ergonomic. You got a nice dedicated cup holder, a bottle holder right here on the side. And of course, a very comfortable outboard armrest. And if you need another armrest right here, you can just put this down right there. Nice and comfy, I gotta say. You got two map pockets right here and another extra netting to put your stuff in there. And being a Kia, you definitely have these options or these buttons to control the seat. See, I'm moving Kent's seat right here, annoying him to no end, but there you go. And you got two USB-C ports on each side right here. If you run out of USB-C ports, there is a 12-volt power socket right here in the middle if you want to add additional charging ports. So yeah, pretty straightforward, nice and clean. The seats are very, the seats are very nice and comfortable, I have to say. Despite the fact that this is an all-wheel drive vehicle, there is no center tunnel. Well, you've got a slight center tunnel right there, but you basically have a flat floor right here in the back. That's attention to detail right there, and I appreciate that coming from this type of SUV. All right, let's do a third row seat test, because being a 7-seater SUV, it has to be usable. I mean, even with myself, I'm 5'10.5", I'm chunky and wide with a tall torso. So let's see how the third row seats work for me. Now, Kia, being a brand that is definitely into the details here, gives you all the opportunities to make it easier to get into the third row. So in order to do that, you just fold these seats down and tumble forward. Yeah, there you go. And getting in here, you do have this small grab handle of sorts to get inside. So let's do just that. Yeah, I wasn't able to use the grab handles, but that's fine. There we go. All right. Okay, so surprisingly, I do have a lot of space for my knees and my feet here, but definitely not gonna work out for a guy my size. But it seems like I'm squatting right here in the back. But if you do have the chance to fit yourself in, you do have these cubbies right here for your cup holder, for your phone here. Got an AC vent here, as well as a control for the AC vent, and another 12-volt socket to work with. So space really isn't going to be a problem. It's not bad, but it's not good as well. But for a 3-row SUV, this is definitely right on top there. Plus you got this nice window to avoid any claustrophobia. So is it a pass? Yeah, it's definitely a pass for me, but we're definitely going to have to go to the driver's seat right now and test out that new 1.6 liter hybrid engine. So let's take this out for a short spin. All right, so we're finally behind the wheel of the 2025 Kia Sorento. Guys, this is the first time that the Kia Sorento is available in the Philippines without a diesel engine. And I think that's all for the better, because with the adoption of EVs and hybrids, this is definitely going to be a welcome addition to Kia's ever-growing lineup of electrified vehicles. And I think this is definitely going to be beloved as well when it comes to fans of this particular model. First off, you got a 1.6 liter turbocharged hybrid engine under the hood that makes 235 horsepower and 374 Newton meters of torque. All power goes to all four wheels in this top of the line variant, and let's just say that I don't miss the diesel version at all. We've actually reviewed the diesel version. This one here is just even better. Definitely, you have to try this out. Now, if I want to give you guys my particular impression, it's smoother. It's definitely smoother, and at the same time, more responsive, if I may say, than the diesel variant, because you don't have to wait that long to get it going, as you can see. And it's quieter, definitely quieter, and has less vibrations than a normal diesel engine would ever have. This is a revelation for me. I love how when we put it on sport mode, you can actually see that instead of having a charge or battery meter right here, the right side of your 12.3-inch multi-information display shows you a tachometer. And that is something. I mean, you don't actually need technically to have a tachometer in a hybrid vehicle because, you know, it runs on electricity and gas at the same time. Sometimes it turns itself off, and that's fine by me. It's fine by me if it shows 0 on the tachometer. That's okay. So it's got 3 drive modes. You got Eco, Sport, and Smart. So with Sport mode, it definitely amps up the acceleration characteristics right here, giving you that instant power, instant torque that only a hybrid or an EV can give you. It also has these traction modes, these terrain modes. You got snow, mud, and sand. It can definitely get you out of a sticky situation right there. And it's definitely fine. I mean, the way it drives, it's so smooth, and at the same time, the traction control definitely works out quite well, and I'll tell you more about it right now. You see, each of these 4 wheels, its suspension and braking characteristics actually actively control those 4 wheels depending on the torque that you need for a particular situation. So you can go all out crazy on this, and at the same time, it's going to avoid that nasty pitch that you're having, especially in stop and go traffic. So it's not going to weave around, it's not going to bob forward and back, just the way that a nice SUV that's mated for comfort, mated for the family should. And I definitely like it. But not to mention the power. It has a 6-speed automatic transmission controlling that hybrid engine, and it works quite well, I have to say, and definitely much smoother than any CVT or dual clutch transmission can. And that's the thing about these Kia vehicles. I mean, especially with their hybrids, this new generation hybrids that they have, they know their audience. They know that their audience wants to have that particular diesel feel to it, but at the same time, they've got to wean their audience away from that, because we're moving towards a more hybrid, a more electric ecosystem right here, and it works just fine. Even better so, and I'm gonna say it without any hesitation, it's even better than any diesel they've ever released. Suspension, you got independent suspension all around. I mean, what type of what type of crossover would have that, and at the same time have this nice acceleration and maneuverability? It is definitely something that any city dweller or anyone who wants to go out of town might want to have here. It's nice. NVH levels, superb. I mean, the noise isolation that you have right here is top notch, and definitely worth every penny that you're spending for this. Speaking of that though, the current generation, this Kia Sorento, starts at an image price of 2.2 million pesos. That's the only information that they're giving us about the price. So if you're right now, we're releasing this video at the same time they're launching it, so I'm sure that their prices have already been released. Just check out our description box below to check out the prices for each of these 3 variants of the Kia Sorento. But at the starting image price of 2.2 million pesos, it's not that more expensive, it's not really that more expensive than the outgoing diesel model. So some of the guys from Kia actually tried this out on the highway. They got about 22 kilometers per liter, and in heavy city traffic, 12 to 13 kilometers per liter. That's just crazy in an all-wheel drive 7-seater SUV. So again, if you guys are interested about this, we'll be posting the prices down below, and we'll be doing a video, a complete review of this coming very soon on our YouTube channel, so you guys better watch out for that. So that's our first look of the new 2025 Kia Sorento. With a starting image price of 2.2 million pesos, I know it's definitely gonna sell like hotcakes, but I want to know what you think. Drop me a comment in the comment section down below. Tell me what you think about the change from diesel to hybrid. Is it something that you can definitely ride with? Well, I want to know. So while you're at it, subscribe to our channel and hit that notification icon so you wouldn't miss any of our videos. We're gonna do a full review of this coming very soon, so you wouldn't want to miss that. Thanks so much for watching. It's been Roy Robles from Zigwheels.Ph. See you guys next time.